Take a live look at the roads. They're pretty clear now, but will start to refreeze within the next couple of hours. And the city of Greensboro is trying to get the roads as clear as possible before that happens. Look at all that blue on the map. Those are the ones that are already plowed. Within the last 2 hours, we've seen a lot of progress plowing in the neighborhoods, not just the main streets. With the race on to get as much sleet out of the roads before it refreezes. Hi there, I'm Ben Briscoe. We'll get to more on that in a moment, but first, this winter storm has turned deadly. One child is dead and 5 others taken to the hospital after a sledding accident. It happened in Whitsett early this morning at the Stony Creek Golf Club. Investigators say 2 children were sledding when one of them went down a hill and slid into the water. That child died. 3 people on scene and 2 first responders also went to the hospital after jumping in to help. Now, to prevent more dangerous situations, law enforcement across the area is asking you to stay off the roads tonight if possible. Claire, how long do we have to run those errands before we need to get back in again?
You know what? And I would just say within the next couple of hours, just make sure you go ahead and head indoors because temperatures are already dropping pretty rapidly and we only made it deep in the 30s for this afternoon. It wouldn't surprise me if we're already just at that freezing mark heading into the next hour or so, or even right now. So now is the time to get to that spot, making sure you're home safe before, those roads continue to turn more hazardous into the night tonight. The snow that we had into today that we've seen overnight tonight was our first inch of snow we had seen in over 1,000 days. To be a little bit more exact, 1,077 days. The last time we saw over an inch was almost 3 years ago on January 29th. A quick rough estimate of what snow cover looks like across the region. You can see kind of in the sky blue right here, this region estimates 1 to 3 inches. Here the lighter blue, more of the cyan, is between a trace up to around an inch. Plus, as we suspected up in the mountains, 3 to 6 inches in portions of the foothills and in the mountains. I actually saw one place in Surrey County, actually I think it was around 6.5 inches. So some places saw a little bit more and some places saw a little bit less with some of that sleet and also that icy mix kind of mixing into the area, and that kind of brought in the lower estimations because of how dense they are versus the nice big fluffy snowflakes that can accumulate very quickly and lead to higher overall totals. A look at the winter radar right now. We were watching that storm yesterday that has now pushed offshore. A couple of snow showers well to our north. I'm not expecting any of these to make it to the Triad, but nonetheless into the night tonight I'm expecting mainly dry conditions for our area. Storm reports over the last 12 hours, we've seen plenty of them. Every snowflake you see here in its different circle is another storm report. Even saw a couple of sleet and freezing rain reports in portions here to our south, especially towards Charlotte, where we saw a majority of those. Now, to kind of expand out just a little bit, this storm impacted a lot of the east coast here of the United States. You could see every single circle here represents a different storm report. So a lot of people were impacted, not from just snow, but also sleet and freezing rain from this system. Snow reports here just in the last 24 hours. We've seen Mount Airy at around 5 inches. We had some big winners. Toast was at 4.5, Mayodan 4, Winston-Salem 2.5 as of measured this morning. Greensboro there at the PTI Airport 2.1, Thomasville 1.6, Randleman 1.3. Here in that snow in Mount Airy, we did get this picture sent in by Evan Dorset, up to around 5 inches. You can see right there of just fluffy snowfall taken last night. Absolutely beautiful. I would say this photo is Cardinal in the Snow, sent in by Felicia Clemens, one of our awesome photographers here, not with us here at the station, but loves to share her photos with us. Gorgeous there. And heading into the night tonight, it's beautiful sunset. We're back in the lower 30s, dew points in the teens. That means it feels like we are in the 20s into the night tonight. It's also been fairly breezy around the area. Blowing rock, although not coming up right now on the sky cam. We've seen lots and lots of snow coming in for our mountains, and we're still in the teens right at around 18 degrees. Feels like temperatures in the lower 20s with more breezes continuing the next few hours, but they are going to begin to die down. Temperatures right at freezing going to begin to drop into tonight. I'm expecting us to get back in the upper teens and lower 20s. Futurecast high pressure is going to keep us dry into the day tomorrow, but another cold front sweeping in by the time we're into Monday and Tuesday is going to bring us another shot of cold air. Highest wind gusts today behind that winter system, 25 to 35 miles miles per hour. It's starting to die down these next couple of hours. Again, want to reiterate as we get toward the back end of my weathercast that it is going to be slick in some spots for tonight as that ice and snow refreeze across roads and also sidewalks. So make sure you're staying extra cautious into tonight and tomorrow morning and tomorrow night and into Monday morning. Following this system, we're seeing lots and lots of sunshine. Not as cold for Monday, but another shot of cold air on the way. Mid to upper 30s by Wednesday, with more rain chances on the way later next week and into the weekend.
Right now, there is a huge hole in a popular Winston-Salem diner after a truck slid into the restaurant last night. Police say around 8 o'clock, the driver of the truck lost control and crashed into 66 Diner on Old Hollow Road. Luckily, the diner was closed early that night before the crash and no one was injured, but it's going to be a long cleanup. Nixon Norman is live at the diner this evening. She has more on what they're planning to do and how DOT is going to clean the roads.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. You take one look at 66 Diner behind me, and it's easy to see that it could take weeks, if not months, to repair. When we first got here, there were several people driving by with their windows down just to take a look at the diner, now destroyed here in Winston-Salem. One of the people who stopped by was Beth, a cashier and waitress at the diner for 7 years now. While she didn't want to go on camera, she told me that prayers are needed. She says she has no idea when the diner will reopen and that they're taking things day by day. She is relieved, however, that no one was inside because they had closed early for the night due to the weather. She is worried, however, about making ends meet, saying it's a shame she has to worry about bills just because someone was going too fast around a corner. Also here in Winston-Salem, we spoke with the Department of Transportation. Crews have been working throughout the day treating the interstate and heavily traveled roads. As of right now, those roads are in good condition, but there is a black ice potential overnight. Now, as for secondary roads, which are basically roads in your neighborhood or roadways leading out to the interstate, they have not been treated yet. Mark Crook with DOT says crews will be focusing on those secondary roads tomorrow. As for drivers out today and tonight, Crooks has some words of advice.
Anytime there's winter weather on the ground, we always advise people to reduce your speed, increase your following distance. You need more time to react. And we always say, if you can't avoid travel, please stay at home. We definitely expect refreezing several nights this week. There's not a night this week where the low is forecast to be above freezing. So black ice will certainly be a concern throughout the week.
Now, just reiterating what he said, that threat of black ice isn't just a concern this weekend. It's actually a concern that's going to bleed into next week. And of course, us here at WFMY News 2 will continue to keep you updated. For now, live in Winston-Salem, Nixon Norman, WFMY News 2.
Nixon, you guys stay safe out there tonight. Our Denise McMiller also has been going around the Triad since early this morning. Here's her latest updates on efforts to clean the roads.
We have been in the city of Winston-Salem throughout the day today, and the great news is conditions continue to improve. This is a look over 421. No snow on the roadways at all, and not many vehicles either, so that's great news to hear. We're going to pan and show you what the Salem Parkway overpass looks like, clear as well. Let's go ahead and give you a look at what some of the roadways look like throughout the city. This is video we shot of city roads earlier today. Most of the main roads have been plowed, but there is some slush on some of the streets. We also went down some neighborhood roads. Many of them have not been touched and are covered in snow. The city says they can't give a time frame for when they will get to neighborhood roads.
Hopefully we will make a good pass at the majors today and possibly get in those collectors tomorrow. It depends on the incident calls. As the weather warms up a little bit, the roads start to free up, you'll get more traffic. Obviously, with the more cars on the road, the slower the snow clearing process.
The city says they'll get to neighborhood roads a lot quicker if people stay off the streets. It's the safest option because the slush on the roads will turn into ice overnight, with temperatures expected to get below freezing. The city says with 2 to 3 days of warm weather, they hope to have every road in the city clear. In Winston-Salem, Denise McMiller, WFMY News 2.
In High Point, lots of folks will have to go back and get their cars this weekend after deciding it was too dangerous and ditching them on the side of the road right here last night. This video sent in by Matt Anderson shows 11 cars ditched on the side of the road over on West Lexington Avenue in High Point. The roads in High Point are still so rough today that all parks in the city are closed and the transit system is not running. Plenty of places around the Triad were closed today. That included the Piedmont Winterfest in LeBauer Park, where we could see folks shoveling the snow off the ice as they hope to reopen the rink tomorrow. They've been hard at work at that for hours now. Well, that's a wrap of our coverage here for now. We'll be back on WFMY Plus later tonight for WFMY News 2 at 11. In the meantime, get the latest radar and forecast on WFMYnews2.com.